Rounded shoulders is a very common problem that will lead to shoulder impingement, bursitis, and possibly a rotator cuff tear, especially if you're an overhead athlete like a thrower or a tennis player. Unfortunately, the standard chest stretches and upper back exercises won't give you all of the results you're looking for. In this video, I'm going to share our precision movement approach that will get you results that last. Hey, it's Coach E from Precision Movement, and welcome to another video where today I'm going to help you fix your rounded shoulders for good. If you like fixing problems before getting injuries that'll keep you sidelined, make sure you hit the subscribe button because we come out with videos every week to help keep you moving freely and without pain, or to get you back to moving pain-free. Today we're focused on rounded shoulders, which is a very, very common problem in today's society. And it's characterized by three postural dysfunctions. Number one is scapular protraction. So my shoulder blade, my scapula, my right hand is my scapula. That's when the shoulder blade is wrapped forward around the rib cage. So it's sitting like that. The second is scapular anterior tilt. So again, my right hand is my scapula. Anterior tilt is when it tips forward that way. And number three is shoulder internal rotation. So that's when my palms are rotated down. So if you look down and your hands are resting where the palms are facing back behind you, then you have shoulder internal rotation. These are the three main characteristics of rounded shoulder posture. And the problem with this is that it can lead to shoulder injury, pain and injury. When you lift your arms up overhead and you have rounded shoulders, every time you lift your arms up overhead, you're going to impinge some structure in the shoulder. It could be the bursa, could be the rotator cuff tendon, could be the joint capsule. Over time, the more you do this, that's going to lead to wear and tear, and that's when you're going to get pain, inflammation, and ultimately injury. In a study titled Head and Shoulder Posture Affect Scapular Mechanics and Muscle Activity in Overhead Tasks, the researchers found that individuals with forward head and rounded shoulder posture displayed significantly greater scapular internal rotation with less serratus anterior activity during shoulder flexion and overhead reaching tasks, as well as greater scapular upward rotation and anterior tilting during the flexion task when compared with the ideal posture group. So we've got to fix the rounded shoulders to prevent this anterior scapular tilting so it doesn't lead to excess wear and tear and injury. Another study that was done in 2023 titled Prevalence of Scapular Dyskinesis in Office Workers with Neck and Scapular Pain showed that those who had neck and scapular complaints, pain, irritation, achiness, had postural deviations including rounded shoulder, 100% of them had rounded shoulder, forward head, 43.3%, and thoracic hyperkyphosis, that's rounded thoracic spine, 54.5%. There was also tightness of the pectoralis minor, levator scapula, and upper trapezius muscles. So this study showed just how prevalent rounded shoulders and other postural dysfunctions are in people who have neck and shoulder pain. So it's not just shoulder problems that you should be worried about. If you've got neck problems, then rounded shoulders is something that's really important and critical to address for long-term results. Now, the standard approach to take care of rounded shoulders is stretching of the chest and exercising the muscles in the mid and upper back, like the rhomboids with rows, and even some external rotator exercises like a side-lying external rotation. Now, while this approach will work, we can do it a little bit better and a little bit more effective and take less time in doing so. And the way that we do that is with our unique exercises that are put in the right order and with precision cueing. So really paying attention to the cues and your form when you're doing the exercises. To fix your rounded shoulders, we're going to go through just three exercises. No static stretching, everything's active, and that helps us just to be more time efficient because we're getting more bang for our buck. We're going to release muscles as we're activating and strengthening muscles at the same time. The first thing that we're going to do is release the pec minor. It's been shown in many, many studies that the pec minor is often shortened, and that leads to that anterior scapular tilt position. To do that, we're going to use a massage ball. This is a lacrosse ball, and we're going to need a wall that you can lean into. So the area that we're going to work is around the collarbone area, and then it goes down to around there. And we're just going to put the ball in three different spots, and we're going to do an active release. So I'm leaning into the ball on the first spot, arms down here, Get some good pressure into the ball, and I'm gonna kind of round my body around the ball. From here, I'm gonna open up both sides with my right arm reaching up and back, and my left arm reaching back. So my chest is opening up the whole time there. I'm keeping pressure on the ball. Let's hold that for about 5 seconds, and then we'll bring it back. And I'll pick another area. Lean into the ball. I'm going to round myself around the ball so the pec minor is loose now. And then keeping the pressure on the ball. So I'm pinning the muscle. I'm opening up, and my arms are kind of like a straight line between my two arms. Pinching my shoulder blades back together. Squeezing, holding for 5 seconds, a nice deep breath. Keeping my shoulders down a little bit, not shrugging my shoulders up into my ears. And then relax. So this release really opens up the pec minor, it lengthens it, and it ensures that we're getting pliability through the full muscle because we're pinning areas, and then we're gonna lengthen both sides of it. So if the ball's right here, by opening this arm up this way, I'm lengthening the muscle on this side of the ball, and then by opening my arm up this way, I'm lengthening the muscle on top of the ball. So I'm making sure that all that tissue has sufficient pliability. Whereas when you do standard static stretching, you could do a pec minor stretch in the doorway with the arm up like that or like that. Either way, if there's a tight area in that muscle, it's not going to get released through that stretch because the tight area is going to stay tight, and the already loose area is the one that's going to be stretched to allow that muscle to lengthen and for you to get the arm out. That's why we like active self-myofascial release over standard static stretching. So you'll do this 3, 4, you can do 5 different areas, both sides, and that'll make sure that we get that pliability through the pec minor. The second exercise addresses the upper trap and the levator scapula. If you remember back to that second study I cited, they showed that those with rounded shoulder posture had a lot of tension in these muscles, the upper trap and the levator scapula, which are both on the side of the neck. So again, we're not going to do standard static stretching, and I really don't like standard static stretching for the neck. I find it easy to irritate the cervical spine, so I just avoid it and do this exercise instead. It's the wall neck side bend. I've shown this on this channel before. For this exercise, you get back to the wall. I've got a natural neutral spine, so I've got a little bit of curve in my lumbar. I've got my shoulders back and 3 points of contact: my shoulder blades, my butt, and my head. But I'm relaxed here. I'm not holding a lot of tension here. From here, we're going to take a deep breath in and then exhale as I drop my ear to my shoulder. Hold it for 2 seconds, then inhale on the way up, and then exhale as you go to the other side. Inhale on the way up, and exhale on the way down. So this technique that matches your movement with your breathing is an exercise that can relax your body generally. So it brings you from a sympathetic state down to a parasympathetic nervous state. So you're getting more relaxed. Then with the active movement side to side, we're actively lengthening the muscles, the upper traps and the levator scapula. And by matching this with the breathing, we're bringing everything down and bringing all that tension that is found in these muscles with the rounded shoulder posture. We're bringing it right down and relaxing it. So if you have any neck pain, this might help to relax that and help you to be able to do the next exercise even better. And that's another important component of our approach, is the order of exercises. So when you do this routine, do this order of exercises. For the wall neck side bend, do 1 set of 5 reps on each side, holding for 2 seconds. And when you're down and holding, you're actively trying to get the ear closer to the shoulder, but you're not moving because you're at your end range. But you want to maintain that activity in the muscles, and that helps to build strength in those muscles and simultaneously relax the opposite side. When I'm actively holding here, I'm going to be relaxing on this other side. The third and final exercise we're going to go through today is one that I came up with just for this video. It's kind of like a combination of some other techniques that I have. And for this video, I'm calling it the rounded shoulder reverser. For this technique, again, we're going to use the wall. And it's really great because it also incorporates thoracic spine extension and spinal posture. Now, spinal posture isn't always associated with rounded shoulders, like forward head and excessive thoracic kyphosis, but it often is. So this exercise helps to address all of these other correlated postural dysfunctions. For the rounded shoulder reverser, step back against the wall, and then you're going to step your feet out maybe about 6 inches or so. Depends how tall you are. From here, get yourself in a nice neutral posture. So shoulders are back, head's touching and looking straight ahead, not tilted up forward. Natural curve in the lumbar spine so I can fit my hand between my low back and the wall, and relaxed. So I'm in a neutral posture, but I'm not holding there with a lot of tension. From here, I'm just going to bring my hips away from the wall so my body is straight, and my head, I'm looking up at a slight angle. So I've got that neutral spine and I'm looking straight, but again, not a lot of tension. From here, we're going to internally rotate the shoulders and bring the hands back towards the wall. This is similar to the slumpy serratus exercise that I've shared here before. From here, I'm pushing my hands, my thumbs against the wall, and I'm thinking about that posterior scapular tilt movement. So sucking the middle edge and the bottom edge of my scapula into my rib cage, keeping the shoulders down, and I'm keeping a little bit of pressure against the wall. From here, I'm going to raise my arms up as I externally rotate, sliding the hands against the wall, pushing against the wall, breathing into a Y, or you can even go a little further depending on your shoulder range of motion, but I don't want a lot of tension overusing the upper traps. At the top, press for 5 seconds, and then I'm reversing the shoulder movement, keeping that posterior scapular tilt the whole time. And now I'm going back, so my shoulders are rotated internally. And from here, I want to keep that tension through the shoulder blades as I bring my butt towards the wall. The shoulders are back, posterior tilt, and then I gradually let everything go while maintaining this good shoulder posture. I can breathe and relax, and then come off the wall for a moment. Maintain this good shoulder posture, but being relaxed. And this way, we're teaching our body how to maintain this good posture that we want with relaxation. If we just hold there with a lot of tension, we're not going to be able to translate that to our everyday life, because you can't walk around all day being super tense. So I'm going to walk you through that again. So start, get aligned but nice and relaxed. So a good relaxed posture. Step away from the wall about 6 inches, and then your body's straight. You bring your hips off the wall, your body is straight, and I'm looking slightly up. From here, bring my shoulder girdle back as I internally rotate and press my hands against the wall. So I'm keeping a little bit of pressure against the wall the whole time. Then I'm going to slide up as I externally rotate, keeping a little bit of pressure against the wall. I'll stop it there, 5 seconds. Breathe as I'm pressing against the wall, posterior tilt of the scapula the whole time. That's key. Then I reverse the motion, nice and slow. So I'm training through this full range of motion. Every degree, I've got muscle activity and stability in the shoulder. Back to the start position, internal rotation now. The backs of my hands are facing each other. I'm going to keep that shoulder tension, bring my back against the wall, and then gradually let everything go. But just keep the minimal amount of tension you need to maintain this good shoulder position. The palms of my hands are facing my thighs. That's how I know I'm in good shoulder rotation posture. And my shoulder blades are tucked in, so a little bit of posterior tilt and a little bit of retraction. I'm able to breathe there, and you can see how this looks. I'm not really tense, I'm relaxed, but I'm aligned. And that's where we want to be. So for the rounded shoulder reverser, do 2 sets, start off at 3 reps. You can work up to 6 reps, But if you do that with that intention on the proper form and all these little cues, then you are going to quickly reverse your rounded shoulders, and you're going to be able to effortlessly hold that all day long. So there you have our approach to dealing with rounded shoulders. Let me know what you thought by leaving us a comment or tapping that like button if you liked it and you don't have a lot of time. And make sure you're subscribed to our channel. We've got a couple other videos that you might want to check out. Forward head posture and a really important exercise for hunchback or thoracic hyperkyphosis. And finally, if you do have shoulder pain or neck pain, grab our shoulder pain solution so I could coach you through exercises like this and more in a progressive fashion to fix your problems for good. Thanks again for checking me out. See you next time. Peace.